Choose the side path on the right and do tricks down to the boost ramp. Trick off of the boost ramp and glide towards the rail on the left. Do a trick on the rail and then do a left trick at the end of the rail heading towards the other rail. Trick off the rail below and then mushroom through the tires to finish the shortcut. Now all you have to do is stay on the rail and take the tightest line possible. Near the end of the track, charge a trick as you approach this brick wall. Do a left trick onto the brick wall. Stay on the rail until you reach the end and then perform a left trick. Aim towards this tree and you can trick in the air to adjust your character. Spam left tricks after you hit the tree and aim for the platform below to finish the shortcut. Trick one more time and then drive towards the finish line. Trick off of any of these rails and then charge a trick aiming for the bush near the left wall. Do a left trick onto the left wall, then do a right trick onto the right wall, then do one more left trick to end up back on the track. Gain speed by tricking off the ramps before the left turn. At the end of this white line, start a left drift. Keep drifting left and trick left as close as you can to the blue pillar as possible. Aim anywhere between these two pillars and use a mushroom as soon as your front wheels touch the stones. Start a right drift and use your mushroom over the sand. Aim for the rail on your right and trick onto it. When you reach this section of the rail, do a neutral trick onto the rope. Do a right trick at the end of the rope and aim for this corner. Then all you have to do is drive out the rest of the track, taking the tightest lines possible. At the start of the track, drive like normal and make your way over to the wall on the left. Trick left onto the wall and drive up it to reach the rail on the top. Drive to the end of the rail and then trick left to aim for the ramp down below. Do tricks in the air to adjust your positioning. Do a forward trick at the edge of the ramp and drive up the wall to reach the rail at the top. Drive on the rail and then do a right trick at this spot and then do a left trick at this spot. Do tricks on the rail until you reach the end. At the end of the rail, do a forward trick and then don't touch anything. You'll land on the rail below and then just drive on it until you reach the end, and then you can do some right tricks to end back in the middle of the path. At the start of the track, get onto the left rail and then do tricks on it until you reach the end. Once you reach this spot, do a right trick and aim for the rail on the other side. As soon as you land, do a forward trick. Stay on this chain and then when you fall off, aim for the red rail down below. You can do tricks to align yourself in the air. After you land, do a right trick at this spot. Then do a forward trick at this spot. Make sure to land in the drift so you can take this corner and the next one pretty tightly. When you reach this turn, start a drift. Charge up a rainbow mini turbo and aim for this rail. At the end of the rail, trick left, aiming for the wall. As soon as you land on the wall, trick right, aiming for this tree. When you hit the tree, trick left, aiming for the next tree. When you hit this tree, trick left one more time and you'll finish the shortcut. After coming out of the snow, start a drift so you can take the next shortcut through this snow. After you go through the second ring, aim for the snow patch. Start to charge a trick right before you reach the snow. At the same time, use a mushroom while aiming for the rail in front of you. When you reach the edge of the snow, use a forward trick to land on the rail. Do a left trick off of the rail to finish the shortcut. When you get closer to this turn, do a forward trick off of the edge of the ramp. Do a forward trick off of the edge around here and aim for the top of this ice cream cone. As soon as you hit the wall, perform a left trick. Keep doing left tricks to adjust as needed. Then you'll end up back on the main road. When approaching these boost ramps, aim for the left side of them. Do a forward trick out of the cannon and aim for this post. Do a right trick at the end of this post. Halfway through the jump, perform another right trick to land on the other post. Do a trick off of this post and aim for the floor below. Land on a drift so you can take this turn tightly. Charge up an orange mini turbo and aim for this ramp. Do a left or forward trick off of the ramp and aim for the rail. Left trick off of the rail to finish the shortcut. When approaching this cave, start a left drift. Cancel the left drift and drive towards these boxes. Start to charge a mini turbo. Then use your mushroom and forward trick at the same time to clear the wall. Do tricks while you're in the air to realign yourself. Tricking off this rail or the ramp to your right, land in the water below. When you come out of the water, do a trick aiming for this rail. Do a right trick aiming for this post. Do another right trick in the air to land on it. After you land on the post, do a left trick for alignment. Do a trick coming out of the water and it will super bounce you to the track above. You'll get on the rail and then trick off of it to finish the shortcut. At the start of the track, get on the right rail. Trick left at the end of the rail. Start a right drift and use your mushroom as soon as your front wheels touch the grass. Steer to the right and the mushroom will take you over the off-road. When you're approaching this turn, start a left drift. When you're in line with this flower pot, you can use your mushroom to break through the boxes. Release your drift after going through the tunnel and then just drive normally to finish the track. When you're approaching this turn, cut through the pillars and start a right drift. At this spot, release your drift and trick aiming for the right side of the pillar. Do a left trick off of the pillar aiming for the tree. Do another left trick off of the tree aiming for the rail up top. After landing on the rail, stay on it to the end and then do a left trick at the end of the rail. Aim for the rail below you and do tricks to adjust yourself in the air. Then at the end of that rail, do a bunch of left tricks to finish out the shortcut. When approaching this section of the track, aim for the right ramp so you can trick down onto the rail on the right. Do a forward trick off of the train and then aim for this tree. Once you hit the tree, do a right trick to align yourself for the shortcut. Aim to go in between these two cones. Do a forward trick at the edge of the platform. Then, when you hit this hanging tree, spam left trick so you can make it to the wall to your left. Drive up the wall and then trick right aiming for this tree. After hitting this tree, perform a few more tricks and land back on the track. Land in a drift so you can take this turn as tight as possible. At the beginning of the track, you can skip this turn by starting a right drift. Drive into the off-road a little bit and then release your mini turbo. When you release it, aim for this section of the wall. When you go off the ledge, perform a forward trick and then wall ride a little bit up, aiming for the rail or just the track, and then you can finish the shortcut. At the end of the track, perform a forward trick off of this ramp. Then, right before you land, do a left trick to align yourself for the shortcut. Start a left drift and use your mushroom to take you through the off-road. Then all you have to do is drive normally to the finish line. At the start of the track, just drive forward and as soon as your wheels touch the off-road, start a drift and use your mushroom at the same time. After this, you can charge an orange mini turbo and then just drive normally. After landing from your glider, go to the left ramp. At the very edge of the ramp, do a forward trick and then do nothing aiming for the rail in front of you. Do a forward trick at the end of this rail to skip a little gap. Stay on this rail until the end and then do a forward trick back onto the track. As soon as you land, go into a right drift so you can take this turn tightly. Release your mini turbo and aim for the right wall. Do a forward trick onto the wall and then again do nothing. Drive off of the mound in the middle and then trick while you're falling, but don't trick when you fall off of the mound. As soon as your cart touches the lava, use a mushroom to boost through the off-road. Charge a trick and aim between these white lines. When you reach the grass, mushroom and trick at the same time. Aim towards the tree and you'll automatically trick off of it. After you trick off the tree, make sure you're tricking left so you land back onto the road. At the very start of the track, start a right drift and then use your mushroom as soon as your cart touches the off-road to boost through the muck. When approaching this boost pad, go to the left of it so you can aim for the crane in the distance. Do a forward trick off of the boost ramp, and then aim for this metal beam. Do a right trick off of the first metal beam, and then aim for the second metal beam. Do a right trick right here, aiming for the rail below. When you reach the end of this rail, do a right trick and land on the other rail. Do a left trick off of the last rail, and then just drive normally to finish the shortcut. When going to this section, choose the right path. Start to charge a trick, and then do a left trick onto the wall. As soon as you get onto the wall, do a right trick onto the rail. When you reach this corner, do a right trick onto the wall. When you reach the end of the wall, do a left trick aiming for the stickers on this wall. It will automatically send you to the blue arrow sign where all you have to do is hold left. It'll automatically trick for you, and then when you're going over the gap, spam left trick as many times as you can. You should land back on the platform and then you can drive normally. At the end of the leaf section, make sure you're on this vine. Then, as you reach the end of it, do a forward trick. After the forward trick, spam left trick as many times as you can. Drive to aim under the lily pad, and as soon as you leave the wall, perform a left trick. You should bounce off the box or land on the wall, and then you can drive through it to finish going through the off-road. Perform a left trick at the end of the wall. Then just drive normally and aim for this plant right here. Do 2 left tricks right here, and then land on the plant down there. Do 2 more left tricks here to land on the plant to your left. At the end of this plant, do 2 right tricks to end up back on the track. When going into your second lap, start a left drift on the right side of the cones. Pull your analog stick as far right as it can go so you do a soft drift. As soon as your first mushroom is about to run out, use your second mushroom to continue your drift. As you pass the wall, you can pull your analog stick back to the left so you can take a tighter turn around the corner. Then just release your drift and drive normally throughout the track. When you approach this turn, start a right drift. Charge an orange mini turbo and then release it, aiming for this section of the track. When you reach the edge of the track, perform a trick and then aim for the track below.